An e-com surveillance manager is a very busy role. They oversee the surveillance of electronic communications. They manage the team of reviewers and workflows. They provide policy and framework oversight, and much, much more. So, having a platform that offers efficient review workflows is key to their success. And what we're looking at here is the Compliance Manager's dashboard, displaying all of the activities, including search, review, and escalations done by the reviewers. And the simplified setup for monitoring the highly regulated users is done in departments. Departments are the building blocks of surveillance and can be created to match the organizational structure or as required. A department is where the monitored users are added in the Monitored Employees tab, and these can be added by Active Directory groups, distribution lists, or individual users. And one of the ways we set up alerts is to use random sampling, if required, even on an individual user's basis. Next, the Compliance Manager needs to set up alerts. And even with the advancement in alerting technology, surveillance teams still continue to use lexicon or hot word sets, combined with classification and AI to ensure nothing slips through the cracks. And these lexicons can be added or modified as required in any language and include word, proximity, and wildcards. Administrators can also create labels that can be assigned to items during review. Labels can be enabled for AI predictions as well. And then to further reduce the noise, trash rules are set up to exclude known senders from being populated into the review queues. And the same can be done for disclaimers in the Allow List feature. And now we're ready to set up our daily searches. The options in a new search include the type of search, the message routing, adding hot words or hot word sets, either that are unique to the department or global hot word sets, and many other options such as the content sources that is required for this particular search, and any classification tags that should be included or excluded in the search. Then the machine learning behavior is set, either to search and prioritize, or to search and only bring in items that score above a threshold that you set within your department. The Compliance Manager is also responsible for providing audit-ready reports, generating clear, structured evidence and audit trails for regulators. For this, the platform offers an audit framework. An activity within the platform is captured and allows an auditor to create a report on changes made in things like role assignments, the lexicon, department updates, and so on. And these can then be exported and sent to the reporting framework. The Arctera Insight platform also provides a variety of on-demand reports that an auditor would require. These include things like evidence of review, account department history, and mapping. But one of the really interesting competitive differentiators that Arctera provides is a reporting API, a mechanism that allows customers to leverage a public-facing API to pull out their own data. And they can then extract it to their data warehouse using applications that support a REST-based API, such as Excel, Power BI, Tableau, or another homegrown application. And these are provided with reporting templates that you can download. And as you can see here, there are a host of templates available to provide the right level of detail required. Metrics on classification, hot words, evidence of review, and many more. Any activity within the review. These can then be customized to be used in various visuals and filters to suit their individual requirements. Now, we're really interested in what the compliance reviewer does. We want to learn what functionality is available to them to make their jobs easier. The Arctera platform provides the e-com surveillance reviewer with options to reduce their manual review burden, improve efficiency, accuracy, and regulatory compliance. Options such as automated alerts and filtering, like you see on your screen on the left. These filters allow them to quickly find potentially high-risk messages, such as tags, if you were looking for all items that are flagged as market abuse, off-channel communications, or any of the other classification tags that have been set, AI-driven sentiment analysis, and AI/ML prediction labels, all which we will see in action. However, one specific area where our customers often start with in the daily review is intelligent review machine learning. After the review manager sets up alerts, they can specify that items must cross a specific machine learning relevance for them to be included in review, and items below that threshold are not shown as alerts that need immediate attention, and they can toggle between the relevant threshold. These can be modified at any time. So now when a reviewer logs into their review queue, they have the ability to sort items by their relevant score. And this enables me to focus on highly scoring items first, items that might require more immediate review. And when looking at an item, I might be wondering, why did it score the item in that way? So this is how intelligent review helps, because we'll break down that score of 32 into its contributing elements, its relevant elements, and its irrelevant elements. Because it's unlikely that items are ever going to be 100% relevant or 100% irrelevant. So we display all of those individual contributions with sections of the message right to the end user. And so the end user could look here and be helped to understand that, well, this author here is a repeat offender. He's scoring rather high. And there are terms in this contact or subject line that is pushing it towards relevance. Or perhaps it's the presence of a classification tag. All this helps me understand why the machine learning scored that item in that way. Perhaps it's trending towards off-channel signaling or market abuse. And this gives me the context that I need to help better understand how to mark this item. And so as a review manager, this information is also incredibly powerful because they can conduct reviews to understand who across their departments might require heightened supervision. And they could look for additional words that they can then add to the policies. But I might also see the presence of a specific classification tag that's showing up frequently. Intelligent review machine learning can also help us predict which labels we may want to apply on this item through its labels prediction feature. We can see here that the labels marked with a flag are the ones that the machine learning thinks should be applied to the specific item, giving the cue to the reviewer that they might want to consider applying these labels. The machine basically learns from past items, which labels were applied to specific items in the past, and it uses that training to be able to predict when a new item comes in, which labels and which marks should be applied to them. However, there's another way you can also train the machine as well, and that's by giving a special permission to specific end users. These end users can then mark up words or sentences to be added to the machine as something that is particularly relevant or irrelevant, or something that is specifically associated to a label or labels. And when a new item comes in that has this term, in this case marketing misalignment, or something that's contextually similar, then the machine learning is going to be able to more accurately make its predictions. So intelligent review is an incredibly powerful tool that more and more customers are moving towards because it helps them reduce false positives. It helps reviewers get context when they're doing their reviews, and it helps compliance managers to better assess risk across their firm and across their departments. So let's switch to a different department now to look at some of the other alerting mechanisms available for reviewers. Now, classification hit highlighting proves to be an efficient way to review items of interest. We've filtered by the customer complaints, client concerns, and market abuse tags. In this email, there are hits on classification tags and hot words, and the reviewer can seamlessly navigate between them. They could also use the labels and item statistics, and this is especially useful on a very long email. But what if the hits are in attachments, especially emails with multiple or multi-page attachments? In this example, there is a hit on the email body, which is correctly identified as off-channel communications. But then we see there are 3 attachments, and this is where the item statistics comes in very handy. The reviewer can now navigate through and see the number of hits in the attachments, showing us the correct icon compared to an email, which shows us top level. They can see the number of hits in the attachments, both hot words and tags, and clearly identify which document or email contains them. This really helps the reviewers work more efficiently. And really, it's no different in collaboration view. This could be iMessage or Teams, WhatsApp, or any other type of communication. And if there are multiple hits, you can toggle between them. This is especially useful if there's a conversation that spans the whole day. Instead of having to scroll up and down, you simply navigate to exactly where the hits are. And if the hit is in an attachment, it displays as such, and you get an attachment preview, including where the hits are. Another great time-saving feature. Let's now see how AI-driven sentiment analysis helps in review. The item that you're looking at now has an alert or a classification hit of customer complaints. Reading the email, this is an accurate alert. Considering now a different email with very similar terms, this item has not hit. However, uses the same terms. As you can see from the sentiment, this has a higher sentiment of 86, a more friendly tone, whereas the item that hit earlier has a sentiment of 26. It's a very low or negative sentiment, because sentiment can absolutely change the meaning of a conversation, even if the terms are the same. And our customers are finding this very useful to find items that have a particularly negative connotation. Let's now join a different review queue and look at some other great AI features. In this case, we are interested in viewing the video and audio files. The Insight platform leverages Microsoft's powerful API, which constantly evolves and supports new languages. And combined with the Insight platform's powerful review features, it allows the reviewer to quickly find items of relevance and identify if the item needs to be further investigated. In this example here, a conversation has been captured via WhatsApp audio between someone who's speaking English and someone who's speaking German. And again, as we would expect, there's classification hit highlighting. And it would have flagged any lexicon or hot words that were set. In this case, I have the option to translate the entire message body. However, because it's a mix of German and English, I only want to see some of the items that have been spoken in German. So I'm going to select some text and only translate the selected text. Now you can see that that section of text has been translated very quickly. Let's listen into the conversation just to make sure that the transcription is accurate. We now have the option to listen to the entire track, which could be audio or video, such as a Teams meeting or Zoom meeting. We have the option to select specific terms and listen to them. Or we could use what's called the karaoke on the right, or even search for specific terms if we wish. We can even toggle between the speakers and only listen to what they have to say.
Okay. Well, listen, I have something to tell you. I heard.
Boah, wirklich, das hört sich sehr streng an. Was genau hat er denn gesagt?
Well, you said EP or something like that. He seemed excited, like he knew.
In this example, we have an Italian conversation. This was an audio conversation captured. Even if it's a different language, it's tagged as off-channel communication and secrecy. Let's go ahead and translate the message body. This certainly looks like something of interest, so we'll go ahead and listen into the audio file.
Ciao Luca, hai 2 minuti? Ti devo parlare di una cosa. Ho ricevuto una soffiata, roba fresca, però deve restare tra noi, WhatsApp. Ho un contatto interno a nome azienda. Mi ha detto che stanno per annunciare.
So certainly there is some mention of potentially policy violation terms inside there. It's good to note that at any time you can also revert, and as before, translate only the selected text. But now let's take a look at a particularly difficult one to translate. That's the Korean language. Now the Korean language uses Hangul, which is a syllabic alphabet. Hangul code is more complex because it uses 24 basic letters, 14 consonants, and 10 vowels, combined into syllable blocks like you see on your screen. So let's see how the translate works in this case. And our customers have found that the translation accuracy is very good. Again, you can revert, and maybe if you wanted to just select a particular area of text. Now in this set, we've been alerted to a number of potential policy violations. This particular one has hit on our lexicon, our hot word search. So we're going to select all the ones that need to be escalated. We can then escalate these to an escalation manager and add notes if required for further investigation.